Ever wonder why the exact same dollar feels completely different depending on who holds it? Some people pull grueling 16-hour shifts just to watch their paycheck evaporate before it even hits their account. Meanwhile, others generate generational wealth entirely in their sleep. The truth is, we aren't all playing the same financial game. Wealth isn't a straight line. It is a ladder with distinct tiers, and a shocking number of people have no idea which rung they are standing on. Whether you climb, slip, or get stuck depends heavily on structural forces and your personal strategic decisions. While there are countless frameworks analyzing economic status, today we are breaking down a highly practical, real-world roadmap of the 7 levels of wealth. Let's pinpoint exactly where you stand right now, map out the terrain ahead, and discover how your entire reality shifts as you move up. Before we begin, remember that climbing this ladder isn't about comparing yourself to billionaire tech moguls. Real progress is measured by personal security and peace of mind. Even a single level shift can completely transform your daily experience of the world. Level 1, Survival. At this foundational tier, daily life is characterized by acute economic vulnerability. Every morning begins in a financial deficit. Rent is past due, utilities are facing disconnection, and basic necessities like groceries are scarce. For many at this stage, this reality is an inherited cycle. Multi-generational poverty frequently restricts access to quality education, which limits skill development and constrains employment options to volatile, low-wage, or part-time positions. Even under a regime of extreme frugality, income simply fails to meet the baseline cost of living. To bridge the gap, individuals rely on credit, loans from social networks, or high-interest alternative lenders. However, when baseline income cannot cover core expenses, servicing debt becomes mathematically impossible, creating a compounding debt trap. While financial literacy is a powerful tool, structural realities mean that when income is fundamentally inadequate, good habits alone cannot bridge the gap. Additionally, cultural beliefs can sometimes lead to larger family sizes, compounding the strain on limited resources. This intersection of systemic barriers and restricted economic mobility creates a cycle that is incredibly difficult to break. According to United Nations data, approximately 700 million people globally subsist on less than $2.15 per day. If we expand that metric to include those who technically earn more but still lack reliable access to clean water, adequate nutrition, or basic education, that figure surges past 1.1 billion people. Escaping this level is one of the steepest challenges in economics. There are no effortless solutions. However, minor microactions, such as budgeting or saving even a single dollar, serve as critical psychological and practical starting points. It isn't a comprehensive fix, but it establishes momentum. Consider the historical case of Ronald Read. Born into poverty, Reed spent his career working as a gas station attendant and a janitor. Through decades of disciplined frugality, he consistently allocated small sums of money into blue-chip equities. Upon his passing, he stunned the financial world by leaving behind an estate valued at $8 million, far surpassing the net worth of his former managers. While his specific circumstances and market conditions were unique, his trajectory demonstrates a fundamental truth. Even from the lowest economic rung, strategic forward progress is possible. Level 2, Struggle. At the struggle tier, you are no longer actively drowning, but you are far from safe. Your baseline income successfully offsets your core living expenses most months. The rent is covered and food security is stable. You might even occasionally finish the month with a nominal surplus. However, this stability is fragile. A disruption of just 1 or 2 paychecks would immediately re-expose you to the survival tier. You are operating without a safety net, living on the financial edge. Debt is often a persistent factor here, typically in the form of credit card balances or personal loans. Even if you manage the minimum monthly obligations, the underlying liability remains a source of constant anxiety. Lifestyle management requires perpetual vigilance, cutting back on non-essentials, tracking outlays, and skipping minor luxuries like premium coffee, although behavioral lapses are common. While individuals at this level frequently desire to participate in capital markets, fear acts as a major barrier. The anxiety of losing hard-earned liquid cash overrides the potential benefits of investing. Consequently, Financial calculations run constantly in the background of daily life, and unexpected expenses remain a looming threat to your progress. Level 3. Stability. Reaching the stability tier provides genuine psychological breathing room. While far from affluent, you are insulated from immediate financial peril. Fixed costs like housing, utilities, and groceries are managed without emotional strain, and minor operational surprises, such as routine vehicular repairs, can be absorbed without triggering a crisis. At this juncture, capital accumulation becomes structured. You begin systematically building a modest emergency fund and taking preliminary steps into investing. For those looking to transition from savers to investors, high fees, steep account minimums, and overly complex user interfaces can often be discouraging. While your broader lifestyle remains unpretentious, it now accommodates moderate discretionary spending, such as routine healthcare costs or family entertainment. However, true long-term security remains elusive. You are stable, but not fully insulated. A sudden termination of employment would test your reserves. Once your short-term emergency fund depreciates, you face a rapid regression back into struggle or survival. Level 4. Security. The critical distinction between Level 3 and Level 4 is resilience. Financial stability means things work as long as the plan holds. Financial security means you are protected when the plan fails. At Level 4, you are structurally insulated. Your asset base is larger, comprehensive insurance policies mitigate risk, and core material needs are fully met. Housing is stabilized, either through outright homeownership or highly secure, long-term leasing arrangements. Should you experience an abrupt loss of primary income, your liquid emergency reserves are engineered to sustain your existing lifestyle for several years, giving you an extended runway to secure a comparable position. At this stage, comprehensive financial planning is fully integrated into your routine. You invest systematically and are actively cultivating passive income streams, formalizing retirement accounts, and structuring generational wealth for your dependents. You also experience a controlled upgrade in your quality of life. Capital goods, furniture, and appliances are upgraded proactively rather than reactively upon failure, and these acquisitions occur free of financial guilt. You still must work to sustain your broader trajectory, but you are no longer economically vulnerable. Level 5. Independence. This tier represents the definitive target of the FIRE movement. Financial independence. Retire early. At this velocity, money ceases to be an operational constraint. Your accumulated assets, whether distributed across equity portfolios, real estate holdings, or alternative businesses, generate sufficient passive cash flow to fully cover your ideal lifestyle. Employment becomes entirely elective. If you choose to manage an enterprise or hold a position, it is driven by intellectual engagement or purpose, not economic necessity. A total cessation of labor tomorrow would cause zero disruption to your standard of living. While Level 5 capital may not fund ultra-luxury assets like private aviation, it removes the necessity of evaluating price tags during everyday commerce. Your primary focus shifts from earning money to optimizing asset management, mitigating tax liabilities, scaling auxiliary revenue streams, and maximizing portfolio efficiency. You are effectively self-sustaining, possessing total autonomy over your time. Level 6. Freedom. Freedom is the advanced evolution of independence. Here, your daily schedule is entirely self-directed. Travel occurs precisely when and where you desire, shifting toward premium experiences, business or first-class transit, and premium accommodations, not for social signaling, but as a deliberate choice for comfort and mental restoration. Labor is channeled exclusively into passion projects, philanthropic endeavors, or creative ventures without any regard for commercial viability. Purchasing decisions transcend basic affordability constraints. Whether you choose an elite social lifestyle featuring exclusive clubs and high-net-worth networking, or opt for absolute privacy and simple living in a remote rural environment, your environment is entirely your choice. Money is no longer a tool for survival or security. It is a tool for absolute personal sovereignty. Level 7. Abundance. Welcome to the ultra-high net worth tier, representing the top 1% and 0.01% of global wealth. At this apex, capital transcends consumer purchasing power and transforms directly into institutional influence. Your portfolio consists of multinational enterprises, private equity funds, and cross-border institutional real estate. You do not merely participate in economies. Your capital allocations influence markets. Material assets at this stage include global real estate portfolios, private islands, and dedicated private aviation assets managed by personal flight crews. Your daily life is optimized by specialized domestic and security staff. Socially, the world's most prominent figures are peers rather than distant personalities. At this level of capitalization, you possess the capacity to interface with geopolitical leadership and shape macroeconomic policy. The game of personal finance is effectively completed. The objective shifts entirely to architectural legacy, philanthropic foundations, and quietly steering global systems behind the scenes. You are no longer navigating the economic matrix. You are actively rewriting it. Conclusion. Ultimately, your wealth profile is shaped by two distinct vectors: your raw earning capacity and your structural management of capital. High earners can easily default through poor capital allocation, while disciplined individuals with moderate incomes frequently ascend to higher tiers of security and independence through strategic consistency. Identify your current coordinates on this ladder and focus explicitly on the immediate rung above you. Avoid the trap of comparing your data 1 to someone else's data 1,000. As a final thought for those dedicated to maximizing their economic potential, when someone attempts to define what you can or cannot achieve, they are mapping the boundaries of their own reality, not yours. If you want more deep dives into macroeconomic strategies and wealth building, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching.